I was on track to pass my funded challenge. Then 48 hours of stupidity erased all of it.
Hey everybody, day 16 kicked off the usual way, with my DSA lecture. We're almost wrapping up recursion and backtracking, just one more class before we finally dive into graphs and dynamic programming. Today's session was all about two heavy-duty backtracking problems involving recursion that really make your brain work. First up was the classic Sudoku solver, fill a 9x9 board while sticking to the 3 golden rules. Row, no repeating numbers. Column, no repeating numbers. 3x3 subgrid, each box must have unique numbers. The flow is basically, place a number, validate with these rules, move ahead if valid, backtrack if not. Simple on paper, but the logic needs to be razor sharp. Next, we jumped into Palindrome partitioning. My prof hilariously calls it *pageant Rome partitioning. The problem goes: break a string into all possible partitions such that every substring is a palindrome. Sounds chill, but the real challenge is generating every valid combination. It's pure recursion plus backtracking magic. The whole lecture was dedicated to just these two mid to hard problems, and the professor really nailed the explanations, intuition, logic flow, edge cases, everything. After the lecture, I jumped into my LeetCode practice session. I began with the medium-level palindrome partitioning question. The goal was to break the string into all possible combinations where every piece is a palindrome. So I started from the first index, made a cut, checked if that piece was a palindrome, and if it was, I moved forward with the remaining substring. Whenever I reached the end, that whole chain of cuts became one valid answer. If something wasn't a palindrome, I simply backed up and tried the next cut. The entire solution basically runs on this cycle: cut, check, move forward, and backtrack until every valid partition is explored. After that, I moved on to the Sudoku solver, the hard one. Here the task was to fill the entire 9x9 board correctly. I had to find an empty cell, try digits from 1 to 9, and check whether each digit already appeared in the same row, same column, or the 3x3 box. Whenever a number satisfied all three conditions, I moved on to the next empty cell. If I got stuck later, I removed the number, went back, and tried the next option. Slowly, with this place and backtrack flow, the whole Sudoku grid gets filled up correctly. The last question I solved was valid Sudoku, a medium level one. This one doesn't ask you to solve anything, just to check if the given board is valid. So I scanned each cell, and for every number, I checked whether it repeated in its row, column, or 3x3 box. If any repetition was found, the board was invalid. If everything passed all three checks, then the Sudoku was considered valid as is. Next up was my daily language practice, German day, and I hit day 306 of my streak. I worked on modal verbs and using them naturally in sentences. Revised some vocab too. Sprechen, to speak. Großartig, great. Turkish, Russisch, Turkish, Russian. Muttersprake and mother tongue. I practiced how the verbs change with subjects, like a kann and du kannst. While practicing, I also completed a friend's quest and earned my November badge, small win, but it counts. After German, I headed to the gym for my pull session. For back, I did 3 sets of lat pull downs, wide grip rows, hyperextensions. For biceps, preacher curls, 2 sets, hammer curls, 2 sets. Good pump, especially on the short head and brachioradialis. After the gym, I jumped into my daily machine learning session. Yesterday I built a model with penalty terms, and today I tried fixing it. I went through the code carefully, and since I'm still new to these techniques, I used AI to figure out what was going wrong. We transformed the features, mainly mileage and price, by converting them into log values to smooth outliers and fix the inverse relationship. I also cleaned up the inputs. But even after all that, the RMSE stayed around $31,000. That's when it became clear the real issue wasn't the model, it was the dataset. It was too noisy for linear regression to find any useful patterns. To verify, I tested a random forest regressor, and the improvement was huge. It handled the data easily because it captures non-linear patterns, but since I don't fully understand random forests yet, I couldn't rely on it. So I accepted that this model failed. Linear regression just wasn't the right choice here. Tomorrow, I'll restart with a cleaner dataset and build the model again from scratch. For my reading session, I continued with 0 to 1 and read chapters 13 and 14. Chapter 13, Seeing Green, talks about how most companies in the green tech wave jumped into the hype without any real plan. Everyone wanted to be the next world-saving startup, but because they followed the crowd instead of thinking originally, almost all of them failed. Till's point is clear: the winners are the ones who stay calm, think independently, and build something real, not those who chase shiny trends. Chapter 14, The Founder's Paradox, shifts to the mindset of founders. Till explains that great founders are usually extreme, intense, obsessed, different, and that's exactly why they create things others can't. He compares them to someone walking through a dark forest with a torch. Others fear the unknown, but the founder moves forward because he can see a path no one else does. The message is simple: being normal doesn't change the world, outsiders do. The last thing I wrapped up my day with was my trading session, and man, it hit hard. The moment I looked back at my trades, I could literally see where everything went wrong. I wasn't following my plan, I wasn't respecting my bias, I wasn't calculating my position sizes, nothing. I was just clicking buttons and hoping it would work out. It wasn't trading, it was pure gambling. And because of that, 2 days of steady profits just vanished. My balance slipped back down to $4,870, which felt like getting punched in the gut, especially considering that just 2 days ago I was only $90 away from clearing phase 1 of my funded challenge. That close. And I threw it away by being careless. So today was a wake-up call, a loud one. If I want to move forward in trading, I can't keep doing this. I need to pause, reset, go back to the basics, rebuild my discipline, and actually trade with intention instead of emotion. This slip-up stung, but it also showed me exactly what I need to fix. And that was all for day 16. Thanks for watching.
The network awakens. Intelligence takes form. Undegreed. The signature remains.